I am Shereem Herndon-Brown, and it is the end of March, which means that it is time to talk about college decisions for the class of 2024. After a whirlwind year, I'm sure you're all eagerly anticipating, or eagerly awaiting, I should say, no pun intended, that'll come later, what I'm about to say. But the class of 2024, you have been soldiers, parents, you and your kids have endured a lot, because this has been a very, very chaotic, interesting, I won't say doom and gloom, but a very, very emotionally driven process this year, given the range of issues around college admissions, whether that's the FAFSA delays, that's a big thing, right? How that impacts students and where they're going to go. Obviously, the Supreme Court decision on race-conscious admission, how that's affecting everyone, not just Black and brown students. There's going to be an impact on colleges and in college admissions for everyone. Continued issues around standardized testing. Are colleges accepting them? Do they prefer them? What role do they play? There's so much going on that I need you to know that we are here to help. Strategic Admissions Advice will always be in the know, and we will share that information for you. But today we're going to talk about the decisions that are coming out, right? Because many, many students across the country are hearing about, did you get in? Did you not get in? Or are you waitlisted? Waitlists are the worst, and I'm going to tell you why. This is when a college hasn't made a decision about if they're going to admit your kid or not. And I think at this point, given the emotional roller coaster, that you all just want to rip the Band-Aid off and say yay or nay. But here we are. And the wait list is when the college says, well, we like you, but we're not sure if we're going to get all the students that we admitted already. We like you, but we need to see more grades or scores. We like you, we're not sure how interested you are in the school. So you can't figure out what's on a college's mind at this point, because they are actively trying to yield the students that they've already admitted. So you need to continue to play the wait list game by being patient, by being proactive. I'm going to show you how in a second, but also more importantly, to, dare I say, emotionally detach yourself from that school, all right? I'm going to be candid with you. I don't want your child to feel like, okay, well, they waitlisted me, hopefully I'll get in, because that's a long shot, particularly at these very selective schools. I mean, so many more schools are now 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% admit rates. And if your child's on a waiting list at one of those schools, I don't feel good, and I don't know your child, but I do know how this game works. All that said, the first thing your child needs to do if they've received the notification that they're going to be on a waiting list is that they need to indicate to that school that they want to remain on the waiting list. It's a simple click of a button. They need to make sure that the school keeps them on the waiting list or not. If your child is not interested in that school, decline the waiting list, all right? There are other kids who want to get in off that waiting list, and it would be a nice gesture for your child to say, you know what, I'm not going to go there, so let me just give that up. But if they do want to go there, if they want to keep it under consideration, then they need to indicate that immediately, all right? It's a simple click of a button. Number two, if it's one of their top choices and they really feel like, this is the place I want to be, maybe they applied early decision, maybe they got deferred, maybe they're on the wait list. Again, the emotional roller coaster, which I'm not a big fan of, it's very, very real. All that said, make sure that your child is in touch with the specific admissions officer, counselor out that school, from that college. Their school counselor can also contact that admissions officer to let them know, hey, this kid really wants to come. I know they're on the wait list. I know this may take weeks, months. The longest I've ever seen a wait list go is June. I don't want that to be the case for you, but the reality is the more your student can be proactive and email the admissions officer at that school and say, you are my first choice. I want to be there. Do you need me to send you anything? Do you need me to see grades? Do you want me to come up there and demonstrate interest? How can I show you that I want to be a student at your school? The school counselor can also echo that, just so it's reinforced by an adult. All that said, between first and foremost checking the box, right, making sure that the college knows that they want to stay on the waiting list, then the student and the school counselor following up with that with an email, some kind of communication in writing that this is their first choice, I feel a little bit better. But again, I would prefer that you as the parent help your child to accept all the other schools that they've been admitted to, or, kind of figure out which one is best for them, because ultimately the waiting list can be a long and arduous process. I tell you about a family that I just worked with last year. Yes, they had a great result in the end, so you know that that's coming, but it was long. I mean, I don't think we found out till middle of May. And right now, given the FAFSA delays, most schools have notification deadlines until mid-May. Some are May 1st, which is typical. Some are going to May 15th. Some are even going to go June 1st. All that said, now the waiting list could extend even longer because they're waiting for students who've been accepted to accept their offer or not. So last year, great kid, didn't get an early decision. Told her to apply early decision 2 somewhere. Wasn't a big fan of that, decided not to, and got waitlisted at 7 schools. 7 schools. Now, did she get into a couple places? Of course. Did her parents have to deposit? They did have to send a deposit to a school that she was potentially going to enroll in. She did. But what they also did is that they followed up with the admissions counselor. They actually visited the school and went up there to demonstrate interest. I'm not trying to say that was why she got in ultimately, but it was part of what they needed to do to demonstrate interest. That young lady, bless her heart, waited until mid-May to find out that she got accepted to Cornell University. I was so happy for her, but believe me, at this time last year, right, the end of March, we were like, oh my goodness, we have 7 waiting list offers, 3 admit offers. We have to deposit out one of them, and we're going to wait for the ultimate goal in the end. She got the ultimate goal. Very, very uncommon story given the climate of college admissions, but I do want to give you hope that this process is something that can be endured if you are properly prepared. And what I mean by that, I want to make sure that your kid, first and foremost, senior parents, accepts the fact that they're going to go somewhere next year. College is an exciting time. They need to go where they've been accepted, ignore the school they've been rejected to, and consider the waiting list. So it's a lot to think about. We want to help. Strategic Admissions Advice. Please hit us up. I'd love to talk to you. Love to talk to you more about how we could possibly support you, give you a checklist for the waiting list, whatever it may be. We know that there's confusion. So strategicadmissionsadvice.com. I'm Shereem Herndon-Brown, and I want to make sure that you and your kids celebrate this moment as they've hopefully been admitted to college and hopefully going to endure the wait list or not. But the bottom line is that celebrate your kid now because it's an important time in their lives.